Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, happy Monday to you all. Hope your week is off to a good start. We have got one more block of music to check out. Of course, we're going to be continuing on with Miss Somi's release. Checked out the title track, which was kind of a trip and a half, if I'm be honest with you. Good trip and a half, don't get me wrong, but it was a trip and a half nonetheless. And, well, let me actually pull it up real quick. We have the rest of the Game Plan EP to check out. Now, this will be my first time delving into like Somi B-sides, so I'm not gonna know if this is like on brand for her when it comes to B-sides, or if this is gonna be something completely out there and a little bit wacky. Regardless, I'm very excited for it because learning about an artist who like I've known for a very long time, like I've known of who JEON SOMI is since IOI. Just never really properly delved into her solo career all that much until today, so today's a very exciting day for me. So let's check it out real quick. Switch it over one time. If you're new around here, you've never been to one of these album listens with me before, if this didn't get blocked by YouTube Content ID, timeline below is going to be chapter based off of whatever song we are listening to, so if you want to skip ahead to a song of your choice, you're more than free to do so. We run through the entire album song for song, listen through it. I do the usual talking bits, talk about, or finish the song, talk about the song, what I like about it, things like that, and then move on to the next one and reading all the song credits in between. So, here we go. We're going to skip fast forward, even though that's technically song number 2. So we're going to start with song number 1 on the album. This is Gold, Gold, Gold. Now, YouTube Music, for some reason, only has the Hangul title in it, but the English title, Gold, Gold, Gold. Lyrics by Miss Somi herself, Teddy and Danny Chung. Composition by Miss Somi, Dominsuk and 24. And same on arrangements minus Somi. Okay, let's send it one time.
In my pocket, 잔돈이 춤을 춰. Mouth full of gold, 내 미소는 눈부셔. The black is what I rap, the check is what I get. 내 X들은 구육사의 백미러에. Zoom zoom 시동을 걸어. 손 넘어봐라 뚝뚝 칼처럼 끊어. 이 잼을 보고는 list 끝없이 받아. I want it all, 난도가 지나쳐. 내가 망할 거라 축복한 널
Oh, and the switch into the vocals. Having her like end every phrase with a little bit of a vocal fry and then go into like the brighter vocal is such a nice switch. The almost metallic synth is a really interesting touch because it adds a sharpness to it that I wasn't expecting.
Neck glittered up, wrist on disco, gold bullets in my golden pistol. So official, blow the whistle, game is over. I could get this chain framed the moment. Told ya, queen tut when I mean mug, you can't keep up. Another ring when I need to re-up. Yeah, 24/7, got the carrots 24, 24. Told me that we going gold. Oh,
yeah, and then it goes all almost like music boxy for this pre-chorus.
If you can, what you got? What you got? I got a lot of gum, 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 gum. Man, I come and boy, wow, 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 wow. I got a lot of gum, 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 gum. Man, I come and boy, wow, 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 wow. Gold on my wrist, it's gold on my wrist, gold on my wrist, gold on my yeah, gold on my wrist, it's gold on my wrist, gold on my wrist, gold on my yeah, yeah.
And then the switch back for the bridge.
통장에 넘치는 공공공들보다 금금금금금. Yeah, I'm 22, living my life. 난 지켜봐, I am the headline. Show me what you got, yeah, what you got.
Oh, it even went like even more melodic. And then
I got a lot of gum 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 gum.
oh my goodness, that beat is going all over the place. And it ended with a kind of bona fide ending at the end too. Interesting. It's different. It's different from the music that I'm used to listening to, which is good. It's good for me to learn and kind of travel outside my comfort zone sometimes. Yeah, like as someone who very much kind of relies on the instrumental and the vocal melody to kind of talk about music. Like, if you've noticed, whenever I kind of approach a song, it's very much vocal, rhythm, and instrumental based. The fact that we only kind of got one out of those three in the song makes it a little bit harder for me to talk about, but that's okay, because there are plenty of things I can talk about this. It's the way Somi in the verses is kind of just like floating on the beat a little bit, just I don't know. I mean, admittedly, I don't know what she's saying, but you know, kind of the talking yo shit kind of attitude, and then going into the really smooth, almost magical, graceful pre-chorus. That switch is so sudden, and boy, is that an attention grabber. You just kind of, just stank faced on, just feel the beat, and all of a sudden, fairy tale. Sleepy Dreamtime music box, and then bring on the nasty beat again. It's like, well, that's a trip. And you know what? I'm not mad at it. I do like a big switch like that. I think it makes the song and the listening experience of the song really kind of different. It's like, you know, there are songs that have big switches. There are songs that even go as far as switching the genre in the middle of the song. But when you have such an extreme, like going from a, you know, very plucky, like almost bouncing deep 808 and vocal fries, going into twinkly metallic synths and high vocals, like it doesn't get any different than that. You cannot be further away in terms of genres. And to incorporate that well into that switch, that is one, very hard to do. But it's executed very well, and it's very charming. So usually, fast forward will come here, but since we already checked it out on its own, when we checked out the title track and the MV for, we'll skip to song number 3. Now, the English title, censor, but up. Gobyoru... Oh no. Papago, I need your help. What is the title in Hangul, please? Translate. Gebyoru. Gebyoru. Okay, there we go. Lyrics by Somi and Teddy. Composition Somi and Teddy, along with 24 Doin-suk Junior Chef. And is that 2 V's? I think that's 2 V's. That's VVN. Arrangement 24 Doin-suk Junior Chef. Okay, here we go. Oh.
이제 연락하지 마. 너 진짜 개별로니까. 근처에서 숨도 쉬지 마.
Off to an interesting start already.
내 산소 아까우니까.
Trap beat.
그녀는 예뻤는지.
Not quite.
안 봐도 집이지.
Not much of it. Oh.
그녀와 빠져 있을 때도 네 입은 둥둥 떴겠지. I bet you made you something from nothing. You know I built you up. I bet you made
take away the bass, add a snap section, pick up the pace a little bit.
Now you got me messed up. Don't get it twisted, I'm moving on.
Very minimalistic in the chorus. At least right now.
진짜 개별로니까 나 혼자 거란 착각하지 마. 네 친구랑 있으니까 넌 지금 뭐 할런지 내 계정 훔쳐보겠지.
The pad beat in the mix, especially the high ends, is very high, very sharp pad beat.
I bet you made
And then the way they cut that bass out in the pre-chorus, it makes it feel so light. It almost kind of gives an EDM-y feel, kind of like with Fast Forward. Don't mind me, I'm just dealing with an ant. Yeah. The moving parts in this chorus, very interesting, very different than kind of the pop music I'm used to. It's rhythmically very intricate, but tonally not a whole lot going on. But the rhythm is very interesting. Huge breakdown. My goodness, that 808, you can, it's so low you can almost not hear it. Huh. The mixing on that one was kind of funky. Not like funk genre, but like funky as in weird and interesting. The trebles were so high, especially in that launchpad like beat part. Like you could feel every metallic clang in your ears, like really sharp. And in contrast to that, the way that they mixed that bass was so kind of surround soundy, very environmental, lots of reverb, very wide sound stage. It's almost like that bass line was there not as a bass line to like add a bottom end to the song, but a bass line to like kind of shake the soundscape that it's been written in. Kind of like it. I do wonder what the song would sound like in a car with the bass cranked up. Whenever I hear a really bass heavy sound on a song, especially if that bass is like a droning 808, I just imagine myself sitting in a car and listening to it and just experiencing what that would be like. And I reckon this song, and like especially if it's on like an older car and you've got like loudspeakers and maybe you have like an interior panel that's loose or like a sun visor that flaps around a little bit, I reckon you could hear like the plastic rattling around with it. It's an interesting thought to kind of mental image, food for thought in a way. But for me, with Fucked Up, the chorus, and especially the way the song builds into the chorus, and I feel like this may be a common thing on this EP, is the kind of the way the instrumental sections are written along with Somi's voice. It's like if you're letting Somi sing in her higher tone, it's like the instrumentals don't want to get in the way, so you lose the bottom end. It's a very neutral or treble heavy instrumental part. And then once she goes into that lower tone with her voice, that bass kicks in, and like the instrumentals line up with what range she's singing in. I think that's really interesting because they're not afraid to cut away the bottom end when she's singing high. Usually, like maybe arrangers would add in a bass part when the vocalist is singing high, so that like the audio balances out. But no, if they have a treble heavy part, they're gonna make the instrumental part treble heavy, and if they have a low part, they're gonna make the instrumental have a low part. And I think that's an interesting correlation between the two. Not many times have I heard something like that in an album listen. So we'll keep her moving, though. We'll keep her moving. This is Pisces, or Jadu, right? I think that's Chadu in Hangul. But Pisces, lyrics by Miss Somi, JEON Somi by herself, composition JEON Somi 24 and Doin Suk, and then this is the exact same team as Gold or Gum Gum Gum. Okay.
나도 모르는 나의 여기를 먼저 얘기해 주길 바래. 나도 어려운 나의 마음을 너무 조금 알아봐줘야 해.
So far on this album, like, we're 4 songs in on the album, and every single time, the instrumental beat is not what I expect after the first 4 measures. Again, the trebles and the pad beat are mixed very far forward, very crispy. No bass sound again. Okay, so this must be the main beat of the song then. Not the punchiest bass we've heard on the album so far, and I think intended, especially a little bit of like the lighter attitude the song has. There's some interesting synth stuff going on in the background. I can't tell if they're repeated notes or if it's like a phaser effect. The breathy high note, very interesting choice. Instead of going into that firmer, like high chest voice, the purpose is that you go into the airy head voice a little bit. Switch up the instrumental one time. Okay, so it's like a different way to start off that chorus the second time around. I like it, I like it. Lower vocals in the bridge. That's not the bridge, that's the outro. Oh. Oh. Interesting. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss a bridge if there was one, so I guess they took out that final chorus and decided to use the bridge as an outro. Which kind of makes sense why the song kind of went down a little bit, because it's like a natural way of setting the song back down onto the ground. But, I do like that this one wasn't as kind of intense, if you will, as the previous songs on the album. It's much more straightforward, much easier to follow along, much easier to listen to. Like, there wasn't too much in the way of like a really almost intrusive high range on the pad beat. It didn't feel like every time you heard the hi-hat, it wanted to pierce through both ears. That is an interesting directional choice that this album has for me, I'm thinking. And I don't know if it's because I just have my volume turned up too high in my ears, or if it is intended to be very, like, sharp in the pad beat. But it is a very sharp pad beat, even in a song that's not as kind of out there or in your face. It still has a sharpness to the beat. The beat's good. The beat keeps the song going, and it's not a very energetic like instrumental part or an energetic top line. So having that beat stay busy with the 16th note hi-hats or like the little cymbal hits that we're getting in there definitely helps assist the song forward. And that's very nice. I also like the way this album is progressing so far. Like, this is a Pisces is a very nice way to like kind of start winding down the album in a way. It's pop albums, you if it has an intro track, you kind of make an impact statement with the intro track, and then have the peak point. The killing part is the title track, right? Then have a B-side or two that follows along that energy, and once you get into like the last couple songs of the album, like the penultimate song and the final song, the energy starts coming down a little bit. Now it's not just all intensity, go, 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 lights out, and away we go. Now we got to start ending the project a little bit. And with Pisces, I do get a little bit of an inkling of that. It's not a drastic change, but it's just subtle enough to know that, okay, I'm going to start wrapping it up a little bit. And let's wrap it up properly. This is The Way, the final song on the album. Lyrics by Chloe George, Steph Jones. Composition, Chloe George, Steph Jones, Sir Nolan, and Ido, or Ido. Arrangement by Ido and Teddy. Interesting, Teddy is on arrangement, but not on composition. Alright, let's find out what this one's like.
I was your red balloon.
Synth pop? Hello?
With pretty ribbon and pretty words kept me there.
Why do I have a sneaking suspicion she's not gonna spin this as a ballad?
You start to think it's so real, and maybe we're
Unless it was
one in a
anthemy.
million, and maybe love isn't unfair. If I don't know the sunrise would have turned rain in the afternoon, I would have
Synth pop,
never
okay.
showed up. If I don't know the blue skies would have turned gray, then the honeymoon would have never meant so much. Baby, the way you left me ruined everything. Yeah, baby, the way you left me ruined.
If you've been around for long enough, you know how much I love and how much I'm a sucker for a synth pop song.
So turn it into one my dream. Baby, the way you left me ruined everything, and everything brings me back
I very
to
am
you.
I am very much a basic bitch when it comes to retro synth songs, and this I think is the most straightforward like pop song that she's done on the album, which helps my case because I can actually talk about it a little bit more. Oh, keep that beat going for the pre-chorus. The way Somi and like the music team have kind of manipulated the way the song flows is by like, you know, cutting out the bottom and cutting out the pacing of the beat like this throughout the album. Very clever. It keeps you on your toes when you listen to it. Extra synth part, hello. I was expecting one more vocal part. I guess we were not getting one? Yeah, I guess we're not getting one more vocal part. I was kind of expecting one more vocal chorus, but I guess not. No? As a retro synth fan, it's got everything I want from it. It's got a nice running beat. It's got the nice plucky synth. It's got the nice white noise riser. It's got a good release. The pacing of the song is really good. And I'm surprised at how well Somi's voice fits into a song like this. Like, she's got a pretty unique vocal color when it comes to certain songs and the certain speeds she sings at. Like, she very much has a distinct sound on a very specific set of like genres that she sings in. And for me, on The Way and on with like her vocal top part over this retro synth beat, I think it really kind of showcases the charms that she has when it comes to kind of not pronunciation, but her vocal color. Like, you can kind of make out a little bit clearer than the other songs on the album her unique vocal color on this song. And I find that very charming because that is one of the things about JEON SOMI the artist that I've always been really intrigued about is her vocal color and how they managed to encapsulate it and make it kind of shine in her music. And in her title tracks, I feel like there have been some title tracks that have done it better than others. But I feel like with The Way and when you hear Somi sing that vocal top line, you hear her charming vocal color better on this one than you do on Fast Forward. You could hear it pretty well, but I think in terms of the B-sides, The Way for me showcases her color the best. And of course, it's a retro synth song, and I've explained it time and time again. I love a retro synth sound, and it works. I do wish we had one more vocal part though, because I feel like we could have had one more. Hmm. I'm gonna actually go on Spotify real quick and see. Okay, so apart from Fucked Up, all the songs are under 245. Pisces is 247, but including like the fade out and like the little half a second at the beginning, I guess all the songs are really under 245. Man, I wish some of those songs had one more final chorus at the end. And I know this is becoming more and more of a common thing now, getting songs that are shorter and shorter because of the whole kind of not streaming meta, but songs are being written to better accommodate music streaming services because you can stream them more in a shorter amount of time. But I really do wish that artists brought out longer songs because I feel like, especially with The Way and Pisces, both of those songs were screaming for one more chorus at the end. And I feel like if the song would have gone, I don't know, 3 minutes 15, I feel like no one would complain if the song had ended on one final firm chorus. But overall, for my first kind of JEON SOMI music deep dive in a way, when it comes to her B-sides, I'm pleasantly surprised. I feel like I've learned a little bit. Definitely learned that she does music that I'm not very familiar with when it comes to like genres and things like that, and that's never a bad thing. Learning about new things, stepping out of my comfort zone a little bit, kind of expanding my taste, I'm not going to complain about. And I feel like I've learned a little bit about how the Black Label and Teddy kind of want to direct Somi and her music a little bit in a way where lots of contrasting in her music, both in the instrumental part and in the vocal section as well. And considering she's doing this as like a one woman wrecking crew in a way, like she doesn't have a group around her. Like all the vocal parts are being done by her. It definitely showcases off the range of what she's able to do, and I think that's impressive. Also, love to see the artist getting so heavily involved with the songwriting process, whether it is in the lyrics or in the composition, and in the case of Somi, both. Like she wrote the lyrics in 4 out of 5. She composed and is, in like lead composer in 3 out of 5. I think that's very cool. So shout out to Black Label for letting her, write her own stuff, work on her own stuff. Because I think seeing an artist have writing credits on their own stuff, on their own music that they perform, just makes it that much more personable to the artists themselves. So even though they took almost 2 years to give her a comeback, thank you to Black Label for letting her work her creative magic. And welcome back, Miss Somi. It's been a long time. Very enjoyable time, though. But that is it for me today. Thank you all for watching along with me, listening along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. One last request from me today: let us work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world. Whether it be, checking in with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness that may brighten up someone else's day to day. Know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, an ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.